The lithium industry has become one of the most needed ones in the modern world, with China starting to dominate it all over the globe. This includes major investments by China into several U.S. mining concerns, which means they profit off of the mineral of even their competitors. One of the biggest headaches comes from the fact that the federal government slow rolls the companies that are trying to get U.S. lithium up as a way to combat this. If you want U.S. independence in these matters, then you need to be made aware of the dominance of a tyrannical government that wants to weaken this one. For that matter, we need to consider who is in charge of the government so as to know who is hurting U.S. industry. This is happening all over the globe. But U.S. has lithium. We've got one mine going in North Carolina that is American owned, thankfully. We've got China trying to invest in other mines in the US. So it comes to the point that we need some common sense being applied to what is going on in this country. So we're going to take a look at this. Also, hit like and subscribe if you like this sort of information. Okay, here we go.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Here via Google AI listing is a list of China investments into U.S. lithium mining. In essence, while China doesn't directly own lithium mines in the U.S. in the same way it does in other parts of the world, its investments and partnerships in the U.S. lithium projects are raising concerns about national security and supply chain vulnerabilities. The U.S. is actively working to develop its own domestic lithium industry and diversify its supply chains to address these concerns. For one example, this Lithium Americas, one example is the Thacker Pass lithium mine in Nevada, which is being developed by Lithium Americas. A major shareholder in Lithium Americas is Ganfeng Lithium, a Chinese company which has raised concerns about Chinese control over a key U.S. lithium resource. Standard Lithium. In Arkansas, Standard Lithium is working on a project to extract lithium from waste brine at a bromine facility. Lanxess, the company operating the facilities, has the option to buy up to 49% of the project, and Lanxess is a German company. Yes, there really are this few sites extracting lithium in the U.S., with just a few others being worked at this time. There are sites being considered, but the federal government is slowing the process. So that's another thing. Let's take a look at the major site for lithium mining in this country, or in this world, pardon me, and that's Zimbabwe. Okay, here via IPIS Research, which I've got a Substack if you want to take a look at everything, is how dominant China is in Zimbabwe, one of the largest exporters of lithium. According to a recent Zella report, Chinese-owned companies have acquired the biggest portfolio of lithium mining projects in Zimbabwe. Some notable Chinese acquisitions include Arcadia Lithium Project, acquired by Zhejiang Huayu Cobalt for $422 million in US dollars. From Prospect Resources in 2021, and Bakita Lithium Mine, acquired by Sinomine Resource Group. Besides acquisitions, Chinese investors Eagle Canyon International Group Holding Limited and Pacific Goal Investment have sealed a deal of 13 billion in US dollars with the government of Zimbabwe for the construction of a mine to energy industrial park to produce lithium ion batteries. In March 2023, China Natural Resources entered into an agreement to acquire US based Williams Minerals Private Limited, which owns lithium mining rights in Zimbabwe. While Zimbabwe needs these Chinese investments, it turns a blind eye to some of the governance factors that hinder Zimbabwe's economic growth and benefits to communities due to poor safety standards, unsafe working conditions, unfair displacement measures, environmental damage, and low wages to workers. The Chinese strategy demonstrates no fear to seize the opportunities and occupying the risky investment space in Zimbabwe's mining sector. Western investors, on the other hand, remain reluctant to work in Zimbabwe. China's aggressive approach in acquiring lithium mining projects matches Zimbabwe's Look East policy initiated by the late President Mugabe, which entails preferential trade relations with Asian countries, including China. With China's growing mining, processing, refining, and manufacturing capacity for energy minerals and EV batteries, Zimbabwe has become a major source market for raw materials alongside other Chinese lithium supply countries that include Chile, Argentina, and Australia. Furthermore, the Chinese strategy demonstrates no fear to seize opportunities in occupying the risky investment space in Zimbabwe's mining sector. Western investors, on the other hand, remain reluctant to work in Zimbabwe and are concerned about the human rights situation. They fear sanctions, political uncertainty, security of investments, and reputational risk. Recently, the Australian investor of Zimbabwe's lithium mines, Prospect Resources, sold its mining rights to a Chinese investor. Besides Chinese companies, Australian investors still run the Step-Aside Lithium project. The government owns 65% of the shares of the Bimba mining house that is exploring lithium at Sandawana mine, but while 35% is owned by private investors. Perhaps the U.S. government should start working to the benefit of the U.S., not China. Now, you may be wondering why we should be concerned about this because, well, how does that affect us? Well, let's take a look at, the push to have EVs, the electric vehicles. Well, guess what chemical is used in those for the batteries? Lithium. Lithium-ion batteries or lithium of some sort batteries are being used. Take a look in most of your most of your electronics. A lot of them have some kind of battery in them, and guess what chemicals in those batteries? Lithium of some mixture. This is going to affect our economy. It is going to affect our technology. It already does affect all of that. China is trying to hurt the U.S. to gain dominance. If they gain dominance, then they have a foothold in America that we can't get rid of. So we need to take a look at this because this affects jobs here in the U.S. This affects, technology here in the U.S. This is for national security as well. It's got so many implications and people are not paying attention to it. So I'm going to pay attention to it on occasion. I just thought I would bring this all to your attention. Also, if you don't mind, on top of hitting like and subscribe, if you've got a chance, I've got a Patreon. I've got a link tree down below that's got my link to my Patreon. Plus, there's Substack to this. I've got so many ways that people can take a look at this. So, this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.